And the person that's going to come up to stage, a lot of you know her, a lot of you have seen her. I also think when I was writing the introduction to her, I realized she's been our mother to guide us through the last 5 years of the event. She has been our guiding light, a beacon for all of us, and now we're actually going to hear her story. So I want you to stomp your feet, because she deserves a good introduction, to welcome to the stage the one, the only, Unn Swanström! How does it feel? This is not a new stage for you.
It is not, but it feels as amazing every time. And how awesome is Steph? I'm so proud of you. Give it up for Steph. I love how you glow on this stage.
Stop. I'm enjoying it. It's thanks to the audience, but I keep challenging my inner Unn. And for those of you who's here for the first time, Unn has been the incredible moderator for the last 5 years of Women in Tech. So she has guided us through, and anyone that's been here before knows the amazing energy she brings to stage.
Thank you. That's too kind.
It's the least we can do to celebrate you. But now, this year, you're actually jumping into a new role as a keynote speaker.
Yes, indeed.
And I think a lot of us have built a relationship with you. We know you're such a kind, loving, warm person, but not many of us know your story and actually what you do in your day-to-day job as well. So I'm very excited to hear this story, and I will now leave the stage to you. So give it up for Unn Swanström.
Hi, I'm Unn Swanström. I am a UX designer on Minecraft, my favorite game. And if you recognize me, it might be from this very stage that I have moderated this conference 5 times, or one of the other places that I have had the honor to be during the 15 years that I have been crafting my career in tech. When you start a talk like this, the advice is to start with something light, something relatable. I'm not going to do that, because actually, I hope that not a single person in this room knows what it feels like to be burnt out and depressed. 6 years ago, that was my reality. I was the kind of burnt out and depressed where my nervous system was so maxed out that I couldn't process things like smell or hunger. It was the kind of burnout and depression where all you do is cry. I hope no one here knows what that feels like, because it's the worst. I managed to come back to rehabilitate myself by getting therapy, medication, having a super respectful job who wanted me back, and a loving partner, and of course, a kitten helped too. But there was this one other thing that really, really helped me out. And this was the first time I started playing video games with a hand controller. I'd played lots of games before, but it was always on my computer. But being a beginner, struggling with something, controlling a game, unlocked something in me. It made me find joy. Because when I'm a beginner at something, I take away all the pressure I put on myself to perform, to be awesome. And I could just find a little bit of joy. So being a beginner at video games with a controller, I think that changed my life. So this talk is for her. Unn of 2018, who didn't have hope. I want to talk to you about work when it's fun, what you do now. A little, here's your future. Will you come along with me? So when people often ask me, how did you end up at Minecraft? And I just applied for the job on LinkedIn. That's how you get the jobs you want. You apply for them. And it was mid-pandemic, so these are the only pictures I have that actually prove that I have coworkers, and they're all like unposed Teams images. And but let me rewind. Let me tell you a little bit about Minecraft, so I can tell you what I do on Minecraft. Minecraft is a 15-year-old game with over 300 million sold copies. It's big. It's a big deal. And in Minecraft, you spawn into a world that is generated just for you, where there's no plot, nothing happens. You need to figure out what's going to happen. You decide. You get to be creative. You get to take these blocks and reuse them for things that you want to build. So just build, battle, and explore. And I started at Minecraft on the player onboarding team. Well, I was actually half of the player onboarding team when I started. It was just me and my producer. And whenever I'm new at something, there's always this moment of, ooh, how can I help here? And then I remember, oh yeah, I have experience. I know what to do. I ask other people what to do. And the information that I got was very mixed. On one hand, it was like, no, the players don't need any info because it was so fun for me to just figure everything out on my own. And on the other hand, people were like, yeah, this needs a tutorial. This is, ooh. But what everyone was telling me was like, the night is the problem. That is when the monsters come out, they attack you. That is too stressful. That has to be the problem for beginners. So we did research. What did our data tell us? Normally, when you talk about churn, you talk about how much time before players go. But I think of churn as how much time do I have to help? What is my timeline? Where should I focus? And for us, it made the most sense to make a good impression within the first 6 to 12 minutes. 6 to 12? That's before night falls. The day is only 10 minutes long, and then a night is 10 minutes long, so people aren't even making it a full in-day game. Whoa! We need to do more research, actually. So we did user research, and we asked churned new players, why did they stop playing? First reason, wanted to play another game. Second, got bored with it. Unsure of the goal of the game, got stuck and couldn't make progress. And the fifth one, didn't have any friends to play with. When I look at this list, the first one, I'm like, that's cool. That's totally fine. Because if you've had fun in Minecraft, you're going to come back. Because what you actually crave when you're craving Minecraft is your own creativity. And that's a powerful thing. So go, have fun, see you later. The second one, got bored with it. That is something I can work on. Same with the third. Getting stuck and not making progress, I can split up into 2 areas to work on. And the fifth one, not having friends to play with, there's so many others at my company who are focusing on this right now, so I don't have to right now. So this data made me create the player onboarding project framework, where the first one is how do I play, which is basics, learning the basics, how do I play? Second one is making progress. And here, it's about introducing players to our systems, cooking, crafting, mining, smelting. Number 3, getting bored. Sorry. Like getting good starting conditions and setting goals for yourself. And you might wonder, how is starting conditions linked to getting bored? Well, if you have to walk an hour to get to a tree so you can start crafting things, you're going to get bored. So that's how. And the fourth one, why am I playing? Understanding the goal of the game. By having these 4 themes, our projects get more diverse, and we force ourselves to sometimes think about the things that are harder. Let me give you some examples. So when you go into the game, this isn't very helpful if you're a beginner. Zombified piglins won't attack you if you have golden armor unless you attack them or open chests and bastions. Whew, this is not taking care of the attention span of beginners. It is not. So we wrote tips for beginners. Most monsters only come out at night, break blocks, pick up resources, use the crafting grid to make helpful items. Now you're crafting. You have endless lives? Yeah, much better. Things that make sense for the beginner process. And I know firsthand that not every player, even if you're experienced with gaming, you may not know how to work the controls you have in front of you. So we have made game tips that show up if you have not done a key thing, like movement. Hello? Yes, like moving. If you haven't done that for a little while, we show a tip. Yeah, good job. Moving the camera, tap and hold to break blocks, tap to place blocks, and of course, on computers, how to open your inventory. Now, when you're teaching your product, it's important to be as precise in your timing as possible. In normal games, it's very easy, because you just write an arc of, like, here is the story for the beginner, and if they do this story, they'll learn the game. Our game doesn't have a story. You can do whatever you want, so I need to look for other signals of what you are trying to figure out. We saw that this was one of the best of them. If you're tap, 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 tapping on a tree, you want to do something with it, obviously, but you don't know how. So that's when we show the message to break blocks. So be precise and look for signals of what your user or player is trying to do. Sometimes you actually shouldn't explain what you have, you should fix what you have. We saw that players on touch devices needed more diversity in how to play, so we, instead of just teaching the one control set, actually made 2 more to make the game playable in more ways. And accessibility is something we need so much more of in gaming. But one thing that we did was to make the controls resizable, and you can change the opacity and location of the buttons. And this is very important because everyone has different hands and abilities. So here you can play with a 4-finger claw grip if you want to. I find this incredibly uncomfortable, but for others with other hand configurations, this is great. Look for choice overload in your product or service. We found that new players didn't know what to click on. So, we made this available to all players so that when you collect something, the recipes that you can make with that unlock. And this is my favorite thing. So the crafting table is the most important block of the game because it enables you to make tools and weapons. And we just made sure that that was the empty state of this view. So the crafting table is always there so that I can click on it, see, oh, I need planks. Go find some planks. So make sure to look for ways how you can diversify what type of projects you are working on, and make sure to base them on what your users or players are saying. This helps us so much. I would like to end by sharing my 2 favorite design guidelines that we have at work. Are you ready? Minecraft is scary, and bad things happen. I find this so powerful because life is sometimes scary. In life, bad things happen. Bad things have happened to me. And however much I don't want that for you, I'm sure bad things have happened to you. And it's easy to get stuck in the bad and the scary. So I would like to also say, good things happen. Think about how often good things actually happen. I have a tendency to worry and analyze bad. But good happens so much more. Think about traffic. Traffic is like a dance where all the cars know the choreography and it just works almost all the time. Think about your body. How all the cells are just doing their thing and keeping you healthy almost all the time. Good things happen. And even more good things happen when I allow myself to be a beginner at things, to find the joy, and then keep feeling that joy as I allow myself to excel. Now at work, my job is to give that joy to other people, to help beginners find the fun. And I hope that your job also has that spark of meaningfulness. And otherwise, maybe you need to be a beginner at something. It's going to be fun, I promise. I'm Unn Swanström, and thank you so much for welcoming me back to the Women in Tech stage.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing so openly, so vulnerable, and also reminding us that good things happen. And one really good thing that's happening today is being here.
Yeah!
Seeing everyone. Look at us.
Oh,
Here we
you're
go.
the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Unn.